Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got something really cool for you. We are going to build these awesome dynamic status bars directly inside the Power BI matrix. We'll be using a bit of DAX and the power of SVG, that is Scalable Vector Graphics, to make this happen. So if you're ready to build this from scratch, let's dive in. Alright, I'm here in a new Power BI file. The first thing we need is some data. I've got a simple data set here with order ID, reseller, order quantity, and delivered quantity columns. I'll put the link to this in the description so you can download it and follow along. Okay, let's get a matrix visual on the canvas. For the rows, I'm going to bring in the reseller column. And for the values, let's add order quantity and delivered quantity. Let's see what we have. I will quickly have the columns formatted as whole numbers. So this is currently formatted as quantity. Let's make it a whole number. Yeah. Perfect. So now we can see each reseller, how much they ordered and how much has been delivered. Our goal is to visualize the percentage delivered as a progress bar. To drive our progress bar, we first need a measure that calculates the percentage delivered. So let's create a new measure. I'll call this new measure percent delivered. The DAX is pretty straightforward. We will use the divide function to divide the sum of delivered quantity by the sum of order quantity. So if I click on the commit button, there we go. Now let's format it as a percentage. Select the measure, go to measure tools and choose percentage, maybe with 1 decimal place. Let's quickly drag this new percent delivered measure into our matrix to see if it's working. Yep, looks good. We've got our percentages calculated. For example, the reseller active cycling has a sum of order quantity of 5, the sum of delivered quantity of 2, and that gives a calculated percent delivered of 40%. Now for the exciting part, creating the actual progress bar. We are going to do this by embedding an SVG, a scalable vector graphic, directly into another Power BI measure. SVGs are basically image defined by XML code, and Power BI can render them if we set things up correctly. I've pre-designed an SVG for this progress bar. It's essentially 2 rectangles, a background border and a fill rectangle that will grow based on our percent delivered measure. It also includes text for the percentage label. So let's create a new measure for that. Now I've pasted the DAX for this. We're going to call this status bar. It might look a bit long, but don't worry, we'll walk through the key parts. You can also grab this exact code from the description below. Breaking down the SVG, here's the rundown. The percentage value variable just grabs our delivery percentage measure. Now the bar color variable. This switch through statement is where you define your colors. You see these lines, that is percentage value less than 0.3% gives this color, and the rest. You can change these percentage thresholds and the X color codes to whatever you want. Add more and remove some. It's up to you. Now the text color variable. This tries to make the text of the barcode readable, switching between black and white. You can adjust this logic if needed. The SVG dimension. These variables at the top control the overall size and shape. The SVG height will affect your row height in the table. The bar height is the thickness of the bar itself. The corner radius makes the edges round. Play around with these values to get the look you like. The fill width. This calculates how much of the bar gets filled based on the percentage value. You probably won't need to touch this. The SVG prefix variable. This part is crucial. No spaces after the comma. It tells Power BI this is an SVG, and the SVG body is the actual SVG code. It draws a background rectangle, then the colored field rectangle. And finally, we have the percentage text. If you don't want the text label, you can simply delete the entire text block from the SVG body variable. And the return statement, this puts it all together. If the percentage is blank, it uses the substitute function to make the bar a default gray. Otherwise, it shows your dynamically colored bar. So, the main things you want to customize are the bar color logic and the SVG dimension variables, like the SVG height and the bar height. The rest is mostly boilerplate to make it work. Remember, the key is that this DAX dynamically builds an SVG image string, which Power BI then renders. Pretty neat, right? So let's have that committed to have it created. There's one more critical step. We need to tell Power BI to interpret this status bar measure as an image. So, select the status bar measure in the fields pane, then go to the Measure Tools tab in the ribbon. Find Data Category and change it from Uncategorized to Image URL. This is what tells Power BI to render our SVG code. Now, for the moment of truth, let's drag our status bar measure into the matrix visual. And there you have it. Look at that. The color-coded progress bars with percentage labels right inside the matrix. How cool is that? Alright, so you've got your progress bars. But what if you want the percentage text label to be bigger and easier to read? And you probably want the bars themselves to be big. That's a super easy fix. Go back to your status bar measure and find the SVG body variable. Inside that long string of SVG code, look for the text element, which is right here. You see that font size equals 10 parts. That's what controls how big the text is. So the 10 here is the current size. To make the text bigger, simply change that number. But I'm going to give it 16 because I'm going to really make the bars bigger, or even 20. And then if you scroll up, you see where we have the SVG width, the SVG height, and the bar height. This is where we come to control how tall or wide the bar itself is. So, because I want it taller, I'm going to have the SVG height number changed to maybe 60. Let's have that committed to see the results we have. Okay, so there's been a little change. I want to have it bigger. So let's go back to our status bar measure and have it adjusted further. So the SVG height is what has been changed to 60. But what I want changed is the bar height. So let me take this back to what it was before, which was I think 20. And let's increase the actual bar height to 60. I'll keep adjusting this to fit exactly the way I want it. Go ahead and do the same as you wish. You know the areas you need to update already. Now, after updating the figures on the measure, this is what I have. Basically, I just had the SVG width changed to 150, the SVG height changed to 60, the bar height changed to 50. Then if you scroll down to the text font size, I've had that increased to 30, which is what gives us what we currently have. Now, we're going to have this formatted further. So with the visual selected, go to the format pane under size and style. Let's have the background turned on. Scroll down and we'll probably give it, let's see what we get with this color. No, I'm gonna go with more colors, and let's say we want to give it a light red background or even a deep red one. Let's amend the paddings Yeah, like so. Go back to selecting the visual and let's scroll down to see what more we can have amended. If you want to have visual border added, if not, have it turned up. We want to have a title, so let's have that turned on and expand it. We can decide to give this a title, delivery summary. Let's make the text color white so it stands out. Make it bold. Probably give it a font type of Sego UI semi-bold. Just change it to bold. Yeah, change it to bold. Layout and presets. You may want to play around with this. Let's see what this gives us. Let's go with the flashy rows. Yeah, not bad. So with that, you can see our status bar standing out so well. And now if we scroll down some more, let's see if there are other things we need to change. Let's see the values. We leave this as it is, or we probably have it changed. So this is where you can change the colors you currently have as the flashy colors. Yeah, so this is where you can make the changes based on what you prefer. Since we have a red background, you might want to, it's up to you really. I'm gonna have my change to this and probably make the text color white across board. So text color is white. Yeah, make this white as well. All right, let's make the size of the font increased. We don't want to make it bold. Now scroll down to column headers. We want to make that bold, leave it as black, and have the font changed to Sego UI bold. The background color is currently white, which is fine. Let's have the header alignment changed to center. Now scrolling down to more options, we've got the row headers. We want to make that bold. Give the font type Sego UI bold. Scroll down to row grand total. It's currently set to black and the background color is white. And I think I would like to leave that as it is. You can decide to make changes to this to suit your preference. Now scrolling down to the image size. Let's have the height reduced like so. Because imagine you have other visuals you want to create. It's not going to be just this one. So it needs to be properly sized. And you can also go back to amend the SVG itself so it sits properly on here. Now I'm going to go back to the measure and let's have the figures updated properly so we have the bars standing out. And this is the final result. How beautiful is this? So to recap, we calculated the percentage, then used DAX to build an SVG string dynamically, and finally told Power BI to render it as an image. It's a powerful technique for creating custom visuals, and that's how you can build these fantastic dynamic progress bars in Power BI. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you want to see more Power BI tips, tricks, and tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. All the files, including the DAX measures and the sample data, are available in the description. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there are other Power BI topics you'd like me to cover. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.